So today I got something pretty special for you guys. I got the chance from Gearbox and 2K to play Borderlands 4 a little bit early and show you guys some more gameplay that we have never seen yet before. This gameplay is going to be a little bit further along than where we played earlier this summer in the Fade Fields. It's going to be a little bit later on in that storyline, where we are assaulting Idolator Soul's fortress. So this video, I'm going to give some general impressions from my first little bit in the game, and you guys can just see a little bit more gameplay and also the boss fights, so you can know a little bit more about like how these big boss fights are going to be looking, because I'm going to be honest, they are incredible looking. Like, Idolator Soul is amazing. Like, his design is awesome. Boss fight's a lot of fun, so I'm just going to be going through giving my general impressions so far with the game and letting you guys see that. So when you jump into Borderlands 4, one of the first things that you're going to really notice about the game that has changed about to the previous ones, even though it's not like anything like too insane, but it's the movement. The movement in this game feels amazing. The combat feels amazing when you piece it all together. Like, the amount of times I am dashing around, gliding, while also aiming, hitting headshots with my shotgun or whatever gun I'm using. It just feels so smooth and it feels so good. I also found a setting that allows you to like keep your camera where it was when you grapple. So that was something I didn't know about when I played back earlier this summer, and I found that setting and it just makes it feel so much better. And overall, just the movement is amazing. Like, I cannot stress that enough, how fresh the gameplay feels consistently just because of the movement in the game. And the thing that like really surprised me about it is just how natural it came to me. Like, the movement, it just feels like what you want to do is what your character does. There's really no other way to describe that. It's seriously like when you are jumping and gliding, it is exactly how you want to be doing it. And it just feels amazing. Like, it really took me like 20 minutes of playing to get used to it and chain all of these different movement abilities together. I'm really excited to see what like speedrunners find out with the game once they get their hands on it, and just some movement tech that you can do, because I think this is going to be the best game yet for that. Something else that I noticed so far about playing is when I gave my first impressions in a video back earlier in the summer after playing in LA, the thing that I noticed the most was a lot of guns did feel like kind of weak, but they did say they kind of tuned up the difficulty a little bit, specifically in that demo gameplays for our streaming event. And the guns just, did not feel very good. And basically everything that was doing like crazy damage was an underbarrel on the weapon. Now, I can say the underbarrels still feel really strong, and it's definitely something you're going to be looking out for. But the guns themselves feel really good now. Like, things are actually dying very quickly as you are spraying them down or using a shotgun. Like, right now, shotguns are my favorite weapon that I've found at this point in the game, and they just hit really hard, and they're very satisfying to use. So it makes me really happy that they kind of fine-tuned the way these early game weapons are feeling, and I'm really excited to see where they go. So in all the gameplay that you're seeing, I was using Vex and Spect into her Blue Tree with her Specters. I wasn't really using the Reapers, mainly focusing on the gun portion of the Specters, and they felt amazing so far at this point in the game. There were a few times I felt like they were a little squishy and they would get gunned down pretty quick by some enemies, so I did have to be pretty smart with the placement, so that is something to look for if you guys end up playing Blue Tree Vex. But the damage they output and the ad clear that they can do felt fantastic during this. I can also confidently say that so far this has been the most difficult Borderlands in terms of early game. Things really hurt, and it takes a while unless you get like really good gear to kill things. So there are going to be reasons I think you're going to go back and farm as you are leveling up, just to get on level gear or like specific gear that ends up feeling really strong. If you end up finding some that you're really liking, I think there's going to be a big purpose of going back and farming for it, just so you can move on, because these enemies do get pretty tough. And especially with some of like the modifiers that they get, like during one part there's a badass enemy with Irritable, which sends out these little orbs that seek you, and they do a lot of damage. So those enemies you're going to want to kill very quickly so they don't end up being too much of a threat. Another thing that you may have noticed in the top right of the gameplay, as opposed to any of the stuff that I've shown off in the past during my time playing in LA, is that we now have a combat radar. This is going to ping where enemies are just in a circle around you, and it makes finding and clearing enemies so much easier, way less frustrating with the compass. It was pretty hard to tell where things were. You just knew if they were right to the or left, but you didn't know how far to turn. This way you can pinpoint exactly where they are. It makes finding, you know, like if you have an objective of clearing all the enemies, you know exactly where that last one is. There's no like really guessing with how far they are, if they're like below you, whatever. It's going to tell you exactly where they're at, and it makes the combat just way more fluid. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the boss fight itself, as that's kind of the part that took me the longest on this mission, just because I didn't really have like the damage output to get through it super quickly. I did have to fight him for quite a while, but the really cool thing about this so far is that this boss has actual like mechanics. You have to wait for certain phases. There's also a part where he will like send a beam out towards an enemy, and if you kill that enemy, it actually stuns him and gives you a damage window, which we haven't really seen stuff like that in Borderlands before. So it's really cool to see the evolution of boss fights there within the franchise. It makes the fights way more engaging. And if you were to go back and fight this boss again, you could definitely get just way quicker at it once you know the mechanics. So you can actually see your progression with how like skilled you are getting at the game. So I just think all of that together with this boss fight is awesome. Essentially what this boss fight boils down to is he's going to be immune. That's going to be something with the story, and you're going to end up making him not immune. He's going to be putting down all of these different like relay sensors, and you can grapple one and then throw them at it. And then that's going to make him damageable, and you get a really nice damage phase, and you can actually keep it going for essentially as long as you want, as long as you stop him from doing the green beam on one of the ads in the arena. If you kill that ad, it's going to stun him, like I said, and that will prevent him from going immune again. Otherwise, he's going to keep dropping down those relays, and you're going to have to throw more of the canisters at him to break his armor and allow him to be damageable again. But not only is the gameplay of the boss fight a lot of fun so far, the aesthetic of just the boss, Idolator Soul, his opening cutscene card, I think looks fantastic. They did a really good job on his opening cutscene card, and just the arena, everything. The whole vibe of this entire area feels really good to me. Just with the color scheme, his different animations as he's fighting you, some of his attacks, he'll generate like different structures on his body. Like he gets this giant thing on his arm when he charges you, and overall just the aesthetic of this boss is awesome, and they really knocked it out of the park with it. But that's really all I can share with this video. You're gonna have to jump in yourself on September 12th and check this out. It has been a great time so far. This mission was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a great time with it as well. Hopefully you're able to learn a little bit more about the game with this video and just see exactly how the gameplay feels from somebody who has played it now 2 times. So it's a lot of fun what you can end up doing and how smooth the gameplay ends up being once you get used to it. I'm going to be posting a ton of Borderlands 4 content once this game drops, so make sure you guys are subscribed for that, and hopefully I'll see you back for those videos. I hope you all have fun on Kairos once you get your hands on the game, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.